This time on the old program, we're going to be talking about The Wind Rises.
We just jumping right in, are we?
Well, Patrick, we have intros to do.
I guess so.
So, as always, remember to follow us on the Twitter, like us on the Facebook, and subscribe to our RSS, which you can do so at anibrospodcast.com.
Yes. Also, send us emails.
Oh, please do.
Send us things.
Everything that you can think of. That doesn't kill us. No anthrax.
Yeah, no. We've had this issue before.
They had to hazmat the whole place.
Mm-hmm. Frank Underwood was not pleased.
He had places to be.
He needed to usurp the throne.
I know. I was there.
Sorry, does this confuse you when we talk about non-Japanimation things?
I thought there's like you're talking about pop stars or something.
There's just two of you.
What? I don't even know anymore. Forget it.
Yeah.
I don't either.
Speaking of that, Kill a Kill.
Yeah. Yep.
What a time. I can't believe Mako is Kill.
She was killed the whole time.
Is that what you guys have been watching?
We just watched it.
Yeah, we just saw it. This show's getting insane, and well, it has gotten insane, and probably will continue to be so until the end.
Yeah, pretty much.
We're so close. It feels like they're building up to something huge.
It's about to be the implosion. Instrumentality is afoot.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just amazing. You shut up. You know you love it.
Yeah, who? What are you talking about?
Yeah, you.
Who's you? You're not pointing at anyone. You're not pointing at me.
You.
He's pointing at the microphone. I think that means Jack.
You know you love it too.
I do. I never argued that. It turned
He
great.
just thinks that Jack hates it for no reason, no evidence.
I was the one telling you guys to watch it.
And we did, and we were blown away, like, repeatedly.
It's pretty great.
It's great. Takarada came back and threw his dash
Yeah.
and made it into a boat. You guys seen those pictures going around where people like have piles of money in front of their computer screens with the picture?
I have not seen it.
saluting?
That's great.
Well, that's something people all around the world are doing. You know, they'll like spell out Zenny with coins or just like pile $100 of bills on top of their keyboard. And one of the guys who works at Trigger, he took the frame, like the painted frame of that, and put it on top of his screen instead of just the screenshot of the video. And then he put a note that said like, "Sorry, no money. I spent it all on figurines." And it's like on like a Trigger like sheet of paper.
Oh,
like
nice! Like
panel.
it's an official thing that they made. They're like, bitches, look what I did.
Yeah.
I beat everybody. That's pretty great.
It gets my thumbs up of approval.
Which is a hard thing to do.
Is it?
I think so. You're a tough critic.
I guess so.
Just things in general all the time.
I don't know. Maybe it could just be I'm pessimistic and I see the bad in everything, or I just love it so much that I just want it to be, you know, as good as it can be, and that's all that matters.
Fair. What have you guys been watching, other than Kill a Kill?
What about you guys? I mean, I should ask you that. I've been watching everything.
You're qualified to speak then. I've watched nothing since we talked last.
What about Golden Time? You told
We
me
just
you were
watched
just
an
watching
episode of
that.
that.
Yeah, and we might watch a little more. I don't know.
But
Oh, just an episode,
No,
not the latest one?
I have already seen you're saying things are happening, and it's like, yeah, it looks like it.
Only the last second of the newest episode is like the biggest twist. Like, I don't even know what it means.
Nobody does.
does. Because apparently the light novels, like, right at this point is like the last part of the most recently released novel. And like the new one's going to come out at the same time as the next episode or something. I don't know. I didn't read this from an official source or anything, but because people in forums, they always ask, hey, people who actually read the thing and aren't just watching the anime, like, what happens next? And this time they were like, I don't know. Like, this is as far as the novels are.
I heard that basically what they're trying to do is like do sort of like a synchronous kind of thing where like the last light novel will come out like at the same time as like the last few episodes or something. Like, because like
Yeah.
it's what they ended up doing with Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Like, it was only like 2 or 3 volumes away from finishing, and they were just like, you know what? Like, let's just make the anime adaptation. And so then when we get to the final few episodes, like, you'll basically be done with the series. And like, then it got to the point where like, they published the final chapter, and then 3 weeks later, the final episode came out. So it was, yeah,
Well, that's pretty cool. I was gonna say they did that with Oriimo kind of too.
yeah. So
Yeah, what part of Golden Time
we just
are you
watched
guys at?
the episode where Bonri and Linda went to high school reunion, and then they were on the bridge, and apparently he's getting his memories back. Also, his mirror cracked.
He cracked his mirror. That's not a euphemism.
Yep. And for some reason, Coco decided to do exorcist shit, and
Yeah, she was dancing around all dumb in his room, and then, like, Nana was like, oh, hey, you should be an exorcist for my show. And then she's like, I can't move that fast. And then she's like, well, if I hire a Yakuza to scare the crap out of you, maybe you will.
I guess that's just...
That
that was the
best.
weirdest. It's just like...
Oh, yeah, she had a weird...
Because that
the
was at
most
the
notable
beginning
part
of
of
the
that
episode,
episode
right?
is she had a crazy, weird fantasy dream about her onto the clouds right before she opened the door for the Yakuza guy. She's like, huh. She sings a little song about how he stabbed with a knife and wonders what he was up to and what he wants.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
like in
for
the
like
Swiss
10
Alps.
seconds, and then it's like, oh, back to
Dancing.
reality. Never did be talked about once more.
Yeah, I was very, very quite lost and scared.
I was on board with it. It looked pretty cool. It had like a weird old style kind of animation like look to it.
Yeah, a little bit. It was very, very classic and stuff. I promise next time I'll have watched a little bit more than just this stuff. But
Good.
I don't have a whole lot that I've been watching, so
You know what you should catch
Yes.
up on is Samurai
fuck
Flamenco.
Samurai Flamenco.
I know what you're saying because it really turned to crap, but maybe you can just skip all that and just
seems
watch
like
the latest
nonsense.
It's so exhausting now.
If I have time to watch Golden Time, that's the show I'm going to watch instead of Samurai Flamenco.
It's just, I don't know, like it keeps doing things that I love but also things that I hate, and it's just like I've never been so frustrated and irritated with a show before.
Just a bunch
where
of
I've
shit.
just had no idea of how to feel about it. This just like weird mixture of both absolute adoration and pure hatred that just creates this explosion of just confusion and apathy, and I don't care anymore.
Well, which part are you guys on now?
I don't know. What was the last episode we saw? Red Axe left the headquarters, and that
I
was
don't
it.
remember at all.
Oh, so you're still in the Rangers?
I already read that like it goes back to other things, and also the one thing where like apparently a 2014 anime is making it a rule where you need to have lesbians now. So it's like whatever.
Wait, we're talking about Golden Time now?
No, we're still talking about Samurai Flamenco.
Yeah, you already
Yeah.
kind of saw part of that. It doesn't really go
I
past
figured
that.
not.
But they finally end all the crazy things, and the newest episode is about Goto's girlfriend.
Oh,
You get to see her?
Well, then.
Did she make an appearance?
Just saying that, and I found it because I was the same with you. I was so sick of all the stupid, because it's not a spoiler to say it just keeps escalating, right? I mean, he was a Sentai, then he was a Sentai Ranger, then he turns into an American superhero, and then he fights aliens, and it just goes stupider and stupider. Finally, it all stops, obviously.
it
not
just
very excitingly.
stops.
And then
Weird.
it just does the same thing for until wherever you're at to episode wherever we're at now, like 19 episodes. But then the new episode is about Goto's girlfriend, and I thought that was like the best episode in the series so far. So that might be interesting. Maybe if you just want to skip ahead to that or something.
I don't know. I'll still take all the rest of it for good and bad, I guess. I'm not gonna skip episodes of things. Okay, that's not how I roll. I don't like skipping things. We already had this discussion earlier.
He's not a skipper. He might
Yeah.
trade your choice.
No, it's All or
I don't
nothing
know.
for me.
Maybe I'll wait until it's all the way over and then see if it's good
all or
enough to
nothing for me.
recommend.
But so far, getting real sick of your shit, Samurai Flamengo.
Yeah, Tata Bonry. You tell him.
Yeah. You and Ghost Bonry both need to go right out.
Yes. Is that all we watched?
I am aware of that.
You know what I
What?
dropped?
The news. Oh,
What?
Nisekoi.
Beat.
What? Nisekoi?
That's the alternate version of this episode. It'll just play.
You
a
know what
beat
I
in the end.
dropped? The beep, 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 beep. It just fires up.
Okay,
That's the
then.
sound clip from now on.
Did you guys ever try
Not at
watching
all.
Nisekoi?
Oh, you know what? Hold on. Is there a new
Oh, yeah.
Seki-kun?
Yeah, no.
No Seki-kun.
No, Seki-kun's Sunday.
Oh, Sunday.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Well,
Wait, we didn't watch it on Sunday.
No, we didn't.
Oh, so there's a new one.
Well, should we...
Stop the podcast. We gotta watch Seki-kun.
Oh,
What was the latest one? Another Shogi?
that was last week.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Now
really?
there's a new one.
I don't think there is. I don't think there is one after
No,
that.
I'm looking at it, and there is.
Oh, what's it called?
Hold on, I'm not actually looking at it.
Oh, what a liar.
Yeah, see, what a liar.
He
Sorry.
literally made typing motions and looked right at my face like he was telling the truth. I believed him
deceived you.
completely.
Oh, okay. I'm looking at it now. It doesn't have a
Typical
title
Willis.
right now, or it's not showing me one.
Not only does it not have a title, there's no box or picture of it.
No, I'm looking at it. I
big
have to
question mark
actually
and
be
says,
watching the
"Coming soon."
episode. So
Because this show, it has kind of a weird release schedule. I remember one week they released two at
Did
the same
they?
time. Just two new
it's,
ones, yeah.
interesting.
Well, people want Seki-kun.
Well,
I do.
it's been like weird stuff a lot lately because like Kill la Kill was delayed all the way until like friggin' 10:30 this night.
Still late every week.
Jeez. Well, okay.
They don't want the
Okay,
script
it's
leaking.
knitting. That's what the new Seki-kun is.
Oh, yeah, I remember the knitting
so
one.
I guess
yeah.
we'll just have to get to that.
That's pretty great.
All right. Wait, you already saw it?
Typical.
No, it sounds pretty great.
Okay, then. Well, we'll do that then. Anything else regarding things you've been watching?
No new business.
I watched Robot Girls
Okay.
Z.
Okay.
It's it takes like all the Toei robots, you know, like Getter Robo, and
Already in love
Mazinger and
with
all
it.
that.
Oh,
And it's just a slapstick comedy where all the
And now
robots
I
are
hate it.
girls, and three of them, Mazinger, Great Mazinger, and Grandingzer or whatever, they have to fight against Dr. Hell and
Yep.
the Underground Empire. And it's only 3 episodes or 9 short episodes, but it just puts them into 3 regular ones. And it's just like cartoon style, just slapstick. They're always exploding the city and blowing each other up and punching each other. I thought it was
sounds
hilarious.
pretty funny. Maybe not though. There's a lot of girls.
We'll just try the first
Girls
episode.
can't do
That's what
comedy.
I did.
I think.
I think we
Seems they're
can.
almost exclusively used for comedy
Yeah,
now.
that's true. They are.
It's annoying.
I was gonna say Japanese girls that are drawn in anime form. Never mind. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah, I was gonna
I'm
say-
not sure quite where you were going with that.
Are funny.
I was gonna
Like,
say
what
they
were you
weren't
gonna
funny,
say?
but then I was like, I can think of too many exclusions to that rule, so never mind.
There are too many.
All right. Well, that wraps that up. Let's talk
Apparently.
about what we all came here to talk about.
Indeed.
The moment you've all been waiting for.
Mm-hmm.
Willis's opinion of this movie.
Well, mine
He
opinion.
wouldn't tell me.
Oh,
I'd
okay.
be very curious.
Well, let's just reintroduce it, I guess.
They know.
Yeah. Miyazaki, in case you don't, which if you don't, what kind of anime fan are you?
Are you insulting the intelligence of our listeners?
There might be a slight possibility. I don't know. It's up to you. You decide. But the latest Hayao Miyazaki movie came out a couple of weeks ago in...
The latest in a series of failures.
Jeez. Okay.
He's had a rough time, that guy. Just never quite reaching the level of
I
popularity.
guess,
he
but
could.
also at the same time, he's definitely more popular than most others, so...
It's a
Like
sham.
who? What anime
Like
director?
Ano and
According to that list,
Otomo and pretty much everyone.
no, it's propaganda.
So anyway, The Wind Rises. It came out. It was supposed to be his last movie before retiring. It's not. This is the 6th time he's unretired. So that's
Yeah, I
Did
didn't
he
hear about that.
unretire?
Actually.
I
When
thought
did
that was
this
his
happen?
last one.
it was like a couple weeks ago, I think, where they basically said like, yeah, I decided maybe not. I was like, okay, great job.
Well, I heard he retired to draw manga, but he's not going to direct any more
No,
movies.
he said he might do it still. So it's like, oh, okay.
Stupid
Oh,
Miyazaki.
okay.
This is what I hate. He loves to play the press and the media and get my hopes up that he's gonna finally be gone, and he keeps coming back.
Also, funny thing that I read, not sure if it's entirely true, but apparently his original plan was that he wanted to make Ponyo 2,
No,
but then his producer said, no, you have to do this movie. Which is hilarious because, one, that's the exact opposite of what an American studio would do. Where it's like, I want to make this, like, other random thing. And then they'd be like, no, you have to make a sequel to this thing. And two, that he'd make a sequel to Ponyo of all movies.
that's
Because
true.
that movie, along with many, many others, like, I'm not sure how you make a part 2 to that.
It'd be like Totoro Part 2.
Yeah, it'd just be like, okay, you kind of told the story. There's not much else you can do after that. So, this is what we got. We got a movie about an aircraft designer and love stories and all that great stuff.
Yeah, a fantastic film.
Yeah, why don't you two tell me about it since you had a good
I still
time
don't
going to
have
see it?
this opinion of his movie. What did you think?
Oh, right. I think it was good, but not as good as most of his other movies.
Whoa. Which movies do you think it was worse than?
Spirited Away, Castle in the Sky.
Whoa, no, what?
Yes, and I'm not finished. Castle in
You
the Sky.
basically should be. What the heck?
No, Castle in the Sky.
Fine.
Princess Mononoke.
Yeah, that's the only one that I'll give you.
I don't know. I haven't seen Nausicaa or Porco Rosso yet, so I don't know.
Now, anyone listening to this just has to know Laban has a fetish for world wars and airplanes, so that will
Yeah, I
skew
feel like
his
that's like
judgment.
like at least half the reason.
No, not half. It is a good chunk,
All.
but not as much as half. There was almost no war fighting in this movie whatsoever. It wasn't about that at all.
It's true. It wasn't.
It's about as much about war. Well, never mind. I was gonna say as much about war as Grave of the Fireflies is, but that's kind of a lot about war.
Yeah,
But it's like as much fighting and like warish, glorious war than Grave of the Fireflies is, where it's set in the war, but that's about it.
yeah. I think this was actually like technically set before the war.
Yeah, it was the lead up to the war. Actually, World War II had started, but
Yeah.
they weren't involved with America yet.
Right.
It's kind of a biographical, like a biopic. So it takes from when he's a kid to
When he's like, I don't know how old.
Yeah, what is the original work? What is the movie
just a
based on?
biographical. I don't think it's based on a book or anything. It's
It
just
is
Is it based on a book?
sort of. It's based off of a manga he did.
Okay.
That was in turn based off of both the life of Jiro Horikoshi, who was a real life aircraft designer,
Yeah.
and a short story written by Tatsuo Hori called The Wind Rises, which is about a woman with tuberculosis.
So we just kind of mash the two stories together, or put The Wind Rises
It
into
becomes
the
apparent why
one?
that is. In the actual film.
Yeah, it's sort of like, because like they do complement each other, so like it's not super random, but like he's always had a weird way of adapting things. Like, have you seen Howl's Moving Castle? Nothing like that book. But the end result is a movie that is really pretty much not at all like most any other anime that I can think of, honestly. or animated movies in general, where it's just a movie about an aircraft designer. And
Yeah.
it's just like, okay.
I really loved, I don't know, the direction that it went. You could totally tell it was a Miyazaki movie with the stuff that happened.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, like little dream sequences and weird, like, whimsical characters. You're like,
Yeah.
okay, this is totally.
Yeah.
But it was only during sometimes. Like, you'd go into his dream world where he'd like be taking a nap, and then you'd be interacting with his flying Italian friend.
Yeah, Caproni. He was the best.
Yeah.
Japanese boy.
Japanese boy.
I've been around airplanes all my life, and do you know how many I've flown? None! Not a one!
Yeah. So when they go into those scenes, which I especially liked, at the very beginning when they first showed the first one, I was like, if they go into these flashback scenes the entire time, I'm gonna be very upset. But like after the first, or like after maybe the second one, I'm like, actually, these are pretty good scenes.
Yeah,
They're not that bad.
horrible.
I really enjoyed. My favorite part about them is that when you're watching them, it sounds kind of weird, and then you notice that it's all people's voices doing the sound effects for the airplanes and the engines and all the mechanical things. It's not actually machine sounds.
Mm-hmm.
You can, yeah, it's like a person going like, like just like
Yeah.
a chorus of it and a bunch of
Yeah,
echoes.
and then the propellers would go like, brrr.
But yeah, and then whenever it was German planes, it'd be like a really ominous, like
Yeah, it was
operatic kind of.
"Dope,
Yeah, it was crazy. It was awesome.
Yeah, that is one of the things I actually didn't like about this
Oh,
movie.
you didn't? I thought I wouldn't like that when I first saw it, but then it really got me after the first little bit of it.
Okay, here's the thing. If it was just for the dream sequences, I wouldn't have minded. But it got used in real life scenes too.
It did, yeah.
And that's what pissed me off.
It was
It's
only
like,
when it was to do with airplanes. Anything that had to do with an airplane was made by like a cappella.
yeah, like I didn't like that. I don't know, like for the dream sequences, like it made sense. Like, oh, okay.
It's all weird,
It's-
yeah. Makes it
yeah.
really bizarre and kind of,
But
kind
then
of cool.
but then you're in real life and then you're hearing like people making propeller sounds. It's like, okay. That's
Yeah, I'll give you that. It did. I thought
kind of dumb.
I thought that they would, because you don't really see an airplane outside of the dream sequences for a while. So I sort of assumed that it was just going to stay in them. But yeah, the first time that you see an airplane when he's building one, it's like, oh, okay, I guess it's going to be like that. But I didn't know. It didn't really bother me that much. I did remember. I got the same kind of thought at first, but I got over it pretty fast.
Yeah, I guess.
That's odd. I wonder why.
Well,
he did
apparently that was a thing they did in one of their short films too, was that they had the entire sound effects done with a cappella, and I guess he just liked it a lot, so he just decided to do it again.
Sometimes you can't even tell. Like when like full on engines are going, you're like, I can't tell that's people. It sounds fine. But when they're starting up, you can totally tell.
Yeah. It's just like, oh, okay.
The steam engine noises.
Well, sometimes they use normal sound effects and just be like, whatever, but
I
like,
don't think for any of the engine stuff or any of the airplane stuff at all, it was traditional sound effects.
maybe.
I was really trying to listen and figure it out, but they might have tricked me a couple times. But it sounded like it was mostly just people.
Right.
It's hard to like kind of talk about it.
Yeah, it's very much just like a movie about this kid who grows up and decides he wants to design airplanes, and then he does so. He lives through the great Kanto earthquake of
Yeah.
1923.
Yeah,
Like that's a whole thing that happens.
he's
and
on his way to university to become an aeronautical engineer, and then the earthquake happens while he's on the train.
Yeah,
He
and
helps
then
a girl.
Yep. And like after that, like she disappears for a few years, and then he just does his job, and he meets a really short guy who's his boss. He's just like, he has crazy bouncing hair every time he walks.
Yeah, he might be my favorite character. Either him or
Him or Caproni?
well, no, well, he's not my favorite character.
Aw, I loved him.
His friend,
Oh yeah, his friend was pretty cool.
for Jim from The Office.
Was it? Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it was.
it was, but-
It was Jim. From
I forget his name.
John Krasinski?
No. The
Honjo.
Honjo, yeah, Honjo.
Yeah.
He's just constantly getting like pissed.
He just wants to make airplanes too.
Yeah,
but
well, I like how he's always badgering Jiro, just like, hey, like, what are you doing? He's just super pessimistic. Like, fine, whatever, I don't care.
Yeah, but he wants to be like, he wants Japan to move forward, but like
He's so pessimistic about it, the entire situation.
Yeah,
He's like,
he
we're going to be
hate-
crushed. I hate this.
yeah, he hates the fact that like he brings it up all the time. Like we're 20 years behind. Like we're still making planes out of friggin' wood.
Yeah.
So this is bull crap. It's like Germany over here has like all metal jets, and like we got to get on that.
Well, they didn't have jets, but yeah.
Well, bombers.
They did have bombers.
Well, I thought that was what they had.
It wasn't a jet though.
Right.
It was
Well,
just a regular airplane.
yeah, a plane, but like obviously it was a bomber, and it's like we got to get like this kind of thing going on.
Yeah.
Well,
Japan still had like World War I aircraft at that time.
it was just a really, yeah, I don't know.
It was good. It really did like touched on pretty hard about commentary on like, oh, if you have a dream, it's really tough to have your dream come into fruition unless it's for like a national cause to fight another nation.
Right.
Because they're like constantly talking about how airplanes and air, like flying through the air is a beautiful thing, like birds, but you have to harness it to be a thing of destruction.
Yeah.
Really driving that home.
It's that sort of like conflict with interests. Like he does want to make these beautiful like airplanes, but he knows that like the military is just going to, or the government's just going to take it and use it for military purposes, and it's like, I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
And, like because like
It conflicted him because he didn't really want to make them for that.
yeah, because even near the end of the movie when he's like making like what was it, the A5M prototype or like A
Yeah, it was a prototype fighter.
yeah, and he basically suggested like the problem with this like whole thing, like the big problem is the weight, and like he just half jokingly said, it's like, well, we could remove the guns.
Yeah.
And like everybody laughed.
He's like, that would make it go underweight.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, yay. And
Yeah.
he's like, well, but we can't do that. So
Yeah.
we're making these other planes instead for a second.
Yeah. So like obviously like that's what he wants to do. It's just like, well, we could just get rid of the guns and it can fly just fine. But like, no, we have to do something else instead because like it needs to have guns. That's the whole thing. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
So
I remember when this first came out, they had a big controversy in Japan about like, Miyazaki hates Japan. Like he is so anti-Japanese with this movie, and it was a big thing.
people like, well, on both sides apparently.
What do you mean?
Like there were the people who were like saying like he's anti-Japanese. He was like saying how he didn't like agree with the fact that like Japan went to war and everything. He didn't like that, I guess.
He didn't like that?
Well,
What?
why did the Japanese people?
They were like the really conservative Japanese people
Yeah.
were upset that his movie was like having such a hard look at World War II Japan and like being really critical. And they're like, hey, this guy's not patriotic for making the
Yeah.
slanderous film about our military.
That's the thing. Like that was it. It was just like he clearly opposed the war. He doesn't like it, and like
Yeah, I know. I'm saying that I read that and I was really curious about how they were going to portray that in the film. Mm-hmm. And like they just blatantly do it. They just show that military guys drawn really stupidly off model and terrible, and they're like blah blah, moving their heads all weird.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay.
he's even in like the board meeting with some of them, and he's just like, I'll make sure to do that. And then this boss says, "It's like you didn't listen to them, did you?" It's like not a word.
Yeah.
Good old Miyazaki being
It
fair and
also got
balanced.
like hated by the left too, because like it was seen as like glamorizing
Smoking.
World War II. Well, no, that's a different group.
That was the PTA. They were pissed.
Yeah, they hated the fact that he was smoking, especially since the real life Jiro Horikoshi was not a smoker.
Really?
But,
I did not know that.
yeah, he did not smoke. He was an anti-smoker.
Why did they change it? That doesn't actually make sense now.
Well, because they also merged his character with the novelist person
that's
who
true.
wrote
For the
who wrote The Wind
tuberculosis one,
Rises
yeah.
thing. So and he was a smoker. So it's like, let's just do that.
Which one's more
Yeah.
fun
Smoking
to
is pretty
animate?
fun to animate. Look
It-
at those smoke rings coming
Yeah.
off there.
Like, and they smoke all the time. They're smoking in the hotel room. He's smoking with that German
Well,
guy.
it is 1920s and
30
30s.
something.
so
Yeah.
they're throughout the exposition part. So
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That was just the way it worked.
they all smoked. Oh, well, his Japanese cigarettes remind him of home. That's why he loves them.
Oh yeah,
He does say that.
He
And
was,
the
he did say
German
that.
cigarettes remind the other guy of home.
Yeah. He was a cool guy too.
Yeah, he just had a giant nose and loved happiness, I guess.
Yeah,
He was a fan of Jiro's story working out for him.
just like, I don't want to be with these Nazi people.
He had a
They're-
really weird accent in the dub.
yeah.
It wasn't quite German. It was like a guy trying to do a German accent, but like he was already Ukrainian or something. So it was like, what are you saying?
Well, like the Japanese left also didn't like it because like they said it was like glamorizing. It was a movie that glamorized the production of airplanes when most Japanese airplanes were done by forced South Korean labor.
Oh,
So it's like, so you're apparently saying that forced labor is a good thing. So it's like, no.
they also were conquering China at the time.
Yes.
They were using those planes to drop bombs on like the rest of Indochina.
Yeah, pretty much. But like they said, like you glamorize that because that's how the planes got made back then. It's like, well,
Hey, this is a story about Jiro. Okay?
Yes.
It's not a story about slave labor in Korea.
no.
They're less than Japanese people.
Yeah, wow.
They need to
Whoa.
learn their place.
Whoa.
I think,
Next time on
I think that's what they're trying to tell us.
Jeez.
Any anime fan will back me up. The Japanese people are the superior race.
Yikes. Oh, well, okay. Laven apparently is supportive of World War III happening, so jot that down, I guess.
Because those are the two hot targets: is Japan and South Korea, just ready to go to war with each other.
I guess not. But they're still pissed at each other. So,
I think one of them is pissed at the other one. The other one's like, hey man, happened a long time ago.
yeah, that would be Japan being like, I don't know what your problem is. I mean, we still hate you, but like, you don't need to get all pissed at us.
Their language is just circles and lines. It doesn't actually matter.
Jeez, Laven. Like, have some respect. I don't know. But it is a story about Jiro. Like, he just designs the things. He doesn't actually, like, make them.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if it shows like the manufacturing plant, or
It shows the mechanics like one time.
right?
Yeah.
But he's like out there pointing at like a joint saying like, hey, you need to reinforce this or whatever. But no, it never shows like the production of it. It just shows like the drafting room and all of the like engineering aspect of it.
hmm
Can't make a show
Well-
about anything on Earth. Is there an anime about eating
Most likely.
tofu?
I wouldn't
There's a
doubt
show.
it.
There's an anime about delivering tofu. It's called Initial D. You laugh, but that is the reason why he's such a good drifter. I'm not even making this up. He delivers tofu.
I might have to actually watch that show.
You'll hate it, but
I probably will.
it's still amazing.
All right.
He's such a good driver because he had to deliver the tofu without spilling the water on the country roads.
I hear that they're releasing like the final adaptation of the last part of the series.
Yeah,
now.
it's taken him forever.
Yeah, so yay for that. Back to Miyazaki.
Who will never be able to create a work as fantastic as Initial D. You heard it here first.
Well, I don't know. I guess I'm the odd one out here in that I actually really like Miyazaki still. And I guess, I don't know.
He deserves being notable and famous, but I think his works are just too... Everyone praises him so hard just because he made a thing doesn't mean it's masterpiece every time.
Exactly. That's why I don't think this is as good as most of his other.
Well, that's why I think that this one is pretty awesome, because it's not like, I unveil Ponyo. Get it? No. Okay, well, here's like a real biographical movie about something. Oh, I guess okay, I guess. Like, no, this did everything right and had some cool, like, weird dream sequences and was fun to watch and told a good story.
I guess. Now, don't get me wrong. Ponyo was super weak. It's like his worst movie. But like with this movie, it just felt sort of like there were parts of it where I just felt so like disconnected from it all. Like it just
Really? Like, which parts? I
Well-
was basically on track the entire time, and I felt like the movie wasn't very long, even
Well-
though it was really long.
yeah. Well, it was like 2 hours.
It was
but,
2.5 hours.
No, it wasn't.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
I
it
think...
says 2 hours and 6 minutes.
Oh, well, maybe our theater started late or something, but...
Yeah. It's not that I like didn't understand it. Well, there are a couple of parts. Like the special police shows up to look for him and then they just disappear.
Well, he gets protected by the company.
Yeah, but then like
They said
that's
they're going
just
to pay him off because he's going to start doing contracts for the army.
Right. Okay.
They talk about that. That happens.
Okay, but like I don't know. I just felt so like sometimes like the characters just didn't feel like real to me cuz like there's a scene where like literally like he's a grown man at this point and he's running through the fields and he's just like saying like, "Yes, aircraft is fantastic." It's like
I do that
ugh,
every day. What are you talking about?
I don't know. Like it just felt so like
Well, it's going to have that childlike Miyazaki feel.
Yeah, I was gonna say like childlike or
no,
dramatized.
that's the thing. It just feels so like dull instead. It doesn't feel dramatized. It just feels like
I don't know. I never felt like it was being boring or anything like that.
I couldn't connect with Jiro as a character. Like he just felt so like he just felt so dull and
What?
like
No, he had the most spirit. He was ready to build aircraft.
I know he had spirit sometimes, but like I guess I don't know, it might have been the performance or whatever, but it just felt so like
That might have been
weak.
true because while I like Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Mm-hmm.
He had some lines in some dialogue sessions where I'm like, man, he acts better on screen than this. What are you doing?
Yeah. And, like, I think probably one of the things that, like, irritated me the most was, like, the romance between him and Naoko.
You didn't like that?
It's weird that, like, once that started happening, the movie started getting way better, in my opinion. But at the same time, it's one of the sloppiest, worst written romances I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, it sort of seemed like an afterthought.
Yeah.
Like they made the movie or something, and then we're like, hold on, we got to stick something else in here.
Yeah. Well, honestly, it was the part of the movie that I was more interested in because, like, I was more interested in her tuberculosis situation and all that. But the thing is that, like, how they develop the romance is just, like, it feels so... how should I put it? Like, patched together and rushed. Because, like, literally, when he meets her again, she just says randomly, like, I was praying to this river to have it take you back to me. And then they meet up again, like, a day later, and then they just play with an airplane. And then later that night, he says to her father, like, can I marry your daughter?
I don't think it's in the same day.
It felt like it.
No, it was like over the course. He was staying there for a while designing that aircraft. His company was paying for his hotel. He was in there for like a few weeks.
Yeah, well, okay, a few weeks still.
Yeah, that's still pretty fast, but he was, I don't know.
I feel like they could have,
It's either
like,
weeks or months. Like he was designing that airplane for forever, so he was staying at that place for a long time.
well, if it was months, maybe.
You
But,
remember
like,
she was getting over tuberculosis. Like she was getting, well, you know,
Yeah.
she was like really sick, and it took her a long time to get back to healthy. So it had to be like a month or so that he was staying there. And they were just hanging out every day.
Possibly, but, like, I feel like they could have, like, portrayed that passage of time better. That because, like, just having that one afternoon where they're just playing with that airplane just felt like it just felt like that was it.
Well, that was a big one, but there was like a montage sequence where they're out like doing art by the thing and out by and they're.
I thought that was after.
No, I don't think so. I think because all while he's doing that, then it shows the German guy leaving, and then there was like a giant. Just they were hanging out for a long time.
Yeah. Then there was after the wedding, and there's just this one scene where it just feels like there were parts of this movie that were cut out because, like, his sister shows up after the wedding.
His sister's not important in any way whatsoever.
Not really, no. But she shows up, and, like, the last time we saw her, she was, like, saying, like, why can't I go to medical school? And then he says, like, I can like recommend to Dad that you can go to medical school, and then she does, and then the next time we see her, it's after the wedding, and she's like, yeah, I'm back from medical school. I've been a nurse for a while.
She must have been just a really important character in his life, in real life. And so they're like, well, we can't make a movie without having her in there for a second.
Yeah. But then, like, later in that scene, she's just saying, like, like, it's not fair that you're doing this to her. She's my sister now, and, like, I really like her, and I found that really hard to, like, connect to because they literally never shared a single scene together.
That's true. We have to just trust that maybe they met or something.
Well, yeah, but, like, I wish that at the very least they showed that, and,
Yeah,
like,
we don't
why
get any-
did they have such a strong bond? Just, like, because, like, otherwise we're just sort of taking their word for it at that point.
Yeah.
So, but I guess aside from those little pitfalls there, this still is, like, a very, very good movie.
Yeah.
I want to say the animation is beautiful, but that's
I was going to say
kind
that
of
it was
pointless.
It was
to
gorgeous.
say.
It was great.
Yeah, but it's pointless to say that because, like, it's Studio Ghibli. You might as well just say water is wet.
Yeah.
And
obviously it was going to be great, but watching that in a 4K
yeah, watching that in the theater
was
looks
nice.
friggin' amazing.
It was crisp. It was beautiful.
That's why basically, like,
I was willing to put up with a dub to watch this in like a commercial theater. I was like, it's going to be pretty great. And
yeah,
it was.
So, like, that's why I came back home last weekend, was that, like, I told my parents, like, all right, this is all I really want to do for, like, my whole birthday thing, whatever. I just want to see this movie in the theater, and I wanted you guys to see it with me. And my dad, like, this was just, like, the best part of the whole day to me, was that, like, my dad, he's, like, fiercely anti-animation. He's just, like, he just hates anything animated. He's just like, it's not real. It doesn't feel, like, realistic. In fact, he doesn't hate. He hates everything that's like supernatural in a movie or a show or whatever. It's just like, yeah, that's not real. That can't happen. Which is,
God damn it, Willis! Turn off your girl cartoons. The game is on.
well, it's weird because like he still likes Star Wars and Indiana Jones and shit, and
Well, hell yes.
Yeah.
It came out when I was a kid. I remember.
yeah, but like when he's watching like a more modern thing, he's just like, ugh, I hate the sci-fi, I hate the fantasy, and it's like, eh.
What is this?
Yeah.
Fairies and wizards.
And so, like, he said, like, this isn't going to be like that one, like, Evangelion movie you took your cousin to, right? And it's like, no, Miyazaki makes movies for normal people. So, it's not going to be, like, giant robots and esoteric religious whatever things.
Did he end up liking it?
Yeah, that was the best part. Like, I came out of the theater and I said, okay, be absolutely honest. What did you think? And he's just like, I actually kind of liked it. I didn't know that they could just make a cartoon movie about an aircraft designer. It's like, yeah, there you go.
I didn't either, technically. And I was very happy when they did.
Yeah, this is like I figured he would like that more than any other kind of like anime thing, because like it's like there are the dream sequences, sure, but like it's still very much just like a biographical film with like no supernatural things in it, where it's just like,
That was my favorite part.
yeah,
There were no Moe girls. There was World War II airplanes. This is basically made for me to go watch.
yeah, it was just a movie about a guy's life and just like how it went and everything, and it was beautiful. The animation was great, the music was great, everything was pretty great. So
Yeah, it was great. That is the story of the day. Miyazaki does it again.
Academy Award winning, no it wasn't. Got robbed.
It did. It always does. I never even care.
Did you look at the commentary
Yeah,
for
well,
the
hold on, I'll
Academy
get to that.
voters?
Personally, like I liked Frozen, sure. Like I thought it was good, and I know you guys don't because it's Disney or whatever. But like, damn, like that movie was nothing compared to The Wind Rises. This but no,
It's no Spirited Away.
Yeah, I guess not.
This is the topsy-turvy land where Spirited Away gets awards and Wind Rises does not.
Well, the Spirited Away also deserved them, in my opinion, but whatever. But yeah, fucking that commentary. That what about it did you say again?
Oh, I was reading it. They had like the notes for all of the voters
I
in
am
the
aware.
animation category.
It was
in like
ridiculous.
I didn't see it. What happened?
I saw it. Let's find some quotes here.
Like, bring it
it's
up.
on
Like,
Crunchyroll or
what's
something.
being
I saw
commented on exactly?
Basically, how these people are not doing their jobs.
Oh, they're
And
everyone's just mad at the Academy, being like, "Did you guys even watch these movies?"
yeah, apparently,
they blatantly say they didn't. They're just like, I didn't watch all the submissions. I didn't watch any of them.
Yeah,
Animation
pretty
is
much. Hold
dumb.
on.
What
Wait, these are
cartoons?"
notes. These
Like,
are
one
comments
person
by like
watched
the
the
Academy
Wind Rises.
judges.
yes.
Oh wow, typical
Yeah.
America.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. It was friggin' ridiculous, and it's just like the whole time reading that shit was just like that's your job. Your job is to watch movies. How can you like not do that? And yet,
Like the best one was like, oh, I saw this one and I liked it, but I didn't see them all. And the worst one was just like, cartoons are for babies. I leave my kid in the theater and go walk outside and look at the real world.
yeah, that was the worst one. Where was it? Where can I?
How can they be allowed to be judges? Like, what is that?
Oh, there it is.
That's what everyone was saying. They're like, your whole job is to watch movies and judge
There it is.
them.
For best animated feature, I have seen none of them. I have no interest whatsoever. That ended when I was 6. My son dragged me to a few when he was 6. I would see him and go outside and make phone calls. My pick, I abstain.
Wow, I hate that guy.
Yeah, pretty much all of the
I'd punch
votes.
him right in the face.
All the votes were either I abstain or Frozen, because it's like,
They're like, I saw Frozen with my kid. Whatever.
yeah, pretty much.
It had enough jokes for me to be entertained. It had enough jokes for my kid to be entertained. It means it's a quality film.
It was
Yeah.
the only one I saw.
It means it was quality enough for me to vote for it.
Yeah, pretty much. It was just that was all they said basically, was that like pretty much the weakest one was just like, I like them all about the same, so I decided not to vote.
How do you get this job? How do you get to become an Academy official?
How do you like them all exactly?
Yeah,
the
I don't
same?
know.
That's just the guy who's being polite, but actually also didn't watch any of them.
Probably. Because, like, there were
Yeah.
others. It was like, I did not watch all the nominees. It was like, it's not even, like, if you all voted and it ended up that Frozen ended up winning, I still would have felt like it was robbed, but at least you all put in the effort to watch them all and give yourselves give opinions. But this was literally them saying, "Yeah, we don't want to bother with watching cartoons. Who gives a crap?"
It's not a higher level of film, Patrick.
It
That's what you need to understand.
despite the fact that it has two entire
Despite all facts.
despite that this is a medium that has two of its own awards
Hey.
in the
You're thinking too logically.
well, apparently someone has to. Someone has to think about doing their friggin' job, watching movies. Oh, woe is me. I can't watch all these movies. That's way too much on my plate to think about. All these cartoons.
Yep.
How is a grown man supposed to do his job? I'm supposed to be talking about film here. Like, who cares? I'm an old man, and
What are you talking about right now?
I don't like movies that aren't real. Cartoons are for babies, and they've always been. I mean, Grave of the Fireflies. What the fuck was that? That was so dumb. That had no emotional heart or center or anything.
Okay, I don't think anyone ever said that in their lives. What are you?
Well, apparently, this one guy is just like, yeah, cartoons are for babies. They're for, that all
Okay,
ended
that's
when I was
one guy.
6 years old. And my 6-year-old, he doesn't watch them anymore. He's not 6 anymore. It's like, who cares? Cartoons.
I wonder how
Yeah,
the
that's
judges
what I
are
wanna
chosen.
know.
Like, do they have to apply?
I don't know.
They must be like film critics to get asked or something, like famous. Maybe, I don't know.
Ugh. Actually, I think there was more of that one particular asshole who just went on like pretty much every single one of the
You better have voted for Gravity.
of the categories.
Like, who wanted him?
I
on
don't
the judging
know, but
team?
like,
They're padding the votes. I mean, he must have like it must be like politics. He was able to vote for something else that they wanted to have win an award.
yeah,
So they're like,
maybe.
put him on the team, whatever. He's gonna make Gravity win, so it'll be okay.
I don't know. He was wrong.
He sucked.
they're haters. Miyazaki hates
Apparently.
haters.
They should make a
They better watch
Miyazaki's next movie when he comes out of retirement.
Will be him building a giant mech.
Yeah,
and just crushing
that would
the
be great.
haters.
He builds an Academy Award statue that comes alive as a mech and just smashes a bunch of old men like that.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty.
It'll be called Ponyo 2, Electric Boogaloo. And it'll show the
Yes.
ocean, and he'll have this like a fishing rod with like a bunch of bait on it, and he'll cast out in the ocean. And like all these ugly fish of like all the haters who hate his movie will like grab the bait, and he'll just reel it up real fast. And,
It'll be
rocket
like a
punch
short,
it.
but it'll be in a feature-length theater. Like you'll be charged for the full 2 hours, but it just is the end and plays for the rest of the 45 minutes.
Yeah. He'll take that Guns N' Roses song, Get in the Ring, and just like
Yeah.
make his own version of it.
Miyazaki,
Yep.
fearless, pay-per-view. He hates
He
him.
loves
Apparently.
haters.
All right, well, that's good. It's a good movie. Watch it today. Rent it now on video and DVD.
Well, it's not out on that yet. Go see it in the theaters.
Yeah, it's probably still in theaters.
Yeah, probably.
Go see it.
It was a fun time going and seeing it with both of you. Thanks for the invitations.
Anytime.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, yeah.
I'll watch it again if you want to go.
Oh, you guys sound confused. Like, don't you remember you invited me to go see
Yeah,
the movie
what?
with you?
I mean,
Why did...
Oh, you're right. I don't remember that either.
what do you...
He's having a pity party over there.
If you want, we'll go see it, like, friggin' Saturday, okay? Or
Or something.
something. We'll go see it, okay? Like, if you want to, we'll fucking do it.
Yeah, you know.
Oh, you obviously already
I'm
did
fine with doing it again. You
Just
gotta
doing
see
it.
it. You gotta see it, man.
It's a flawless masterpiece.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What about your friend Jerry? I thought he was going to be in this
I think I was supposed to actually
episode.
call him.
Whoa.
But,
Were we supposed to have a special guest with us? And
yes. Well, he's not now.
God damn it, Laven.
He'll be real surprised when he sees this in his RSS feed.
Great job.
Nobody listens to the end of the episodes.
No, they all just skip around and are like, yeah, an hour's too long.
He'll be on once we finish up Golden Time. I'll get him to come over. He's been watching that too.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah. Well, he's been watching Kill la Kill as well. So once that wraps up, we want to talk about the whole thing.
Yeah, I feel like we might just end up having a whole episode devoted to Kill la Kill,
He
honestly.
can put his 2 cents in it about the Wind Rises as well.
Yeah, all right. But like, yeah, I feel like that might end up being down the line just a full episode, nothing wall to wall, kill to kill.
Yeah, we'll just recap the whole thing and be like,
Pretty much. We won't be able to do it in a minute and 20 seconds like Senketsu did in that one episode, where it friggin' scared me that it was going to be just like another clip show, and then he got it done with in like a minute, and it's like, oh, okay, I guess not.